here at Karsten Creek, home of the 2018 NCAA Men's and Women's Golf Championship. And whether you're a golfer or not, I think we can all appreciate the hard work that goes into getting any landscape ready for being viewed by millions of people. About a month ago, we spoke with Karsten Creek's golf course superintendent about what it takes to get a course ready for a big tournament. We are here at Karsten Creek, just outside of Stillwater, and they are hosting the 2018 NCAA Men and Women's Golf Tournament in about a month. And joining us is Travis Levings, who is the golf course superintendent. So Travis, you're about a month away from this major tournament. Can you tell us a little bit about what has gone into the preparation for this tournament?
Well, we started about a year ago, and we have done several projects around the golf course. We've renovated our tee boxes and our range tee and our bunkers and just a bunch of projects that needed to be done that really helped freshen up the golf course. And we kind of continued that into the winter, and now we've overseeded the rough, and I think everything right now is on schedule to have a good tournament.
Yeah, so I mean the golf course looks beautiful. We've got a little bit more time for the trees to leaf up a little bit. You've overseeded the rough areas. Do you normally do that?
No, we don't. It's something that it's kind of a huge expense for us.
Okay.
And trying to deal with the ryegrass, trying to get it up and we've had to keep mowing rough all winter. It's not something we typically do. We usually take the winters off.
Right. So a lot of us as gardeners, we like to have a little more control over the weather. I can imagine that in your position, you're fighting with this late winter, holding on with these late frosts and stuff. What impact is that having on your responsibility here?
Right now it's having a huge impact. The cold weather, the lack of rain, we've really had to fight to get the ryegrass up and to grow, and even the warm season grasses really aren't doing anything right now. I'm hoping for some good weather for this next month so we can green everything up.
So we've got ryegrass in the rough areas. What are your greens and your fairways consisting of?
Our greens are SR 1020 bentgrass. They're green usually year-round. They don't grow much over the winter, but starting usually in March or April, and they'll grow until about mid-November, December. Our fairways are Meyer zoysia.
Okay.
Very similar to Bermuda as far as the season it grows, but it usually greens up a little bit quicker than Bermuda, so our fairways are green. They're not perfectly green, but they are green.
And of course, if you mow them a little bit shorter, then you're seeing a little more of that green growth near the ground coming up.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so about the sand traps, where I would probably be if I was a golfer, can you elaborate on what might be going on with the sand traps?
Okay, one of our projects is we went in and we pulled our old sand out, and we had a fabric liner underneath the sand to kind of help hold the sand on the face. We went in and we put a porous concrete underneath the sand and then put new sand on top.
Okay.
The porous concrete allows the water to go through the sand and not pull the sand off the face, and helps dry the sand when it's really wet.
Some of them are pretty steep.
Yeah, some of them are very steep. But the sand, that capillary concrete, the porous concrete will help hold that sand in place.
And I think a lot of times, as homeowners, we always think, oh, I want to have a yard that looks like a golf course, but there's a lot of engineering in a golf course.
Absolutely. I'd love to have a yard that looked like this. My yard at home doesn't look like this.
So your history, you were working for a company that built Karsten before you started working here.
That's
you
right.
know about the engineering here.
And there's a lot of things underground that nobody ever knows are there. The irrigation system, the drainage system. There are lots of things underground underneath a golf course that nobody ever knows about.
And of course the maintenance, I'm sure it's impacted a little bit by the tournament. Can you?
Absolutely. There's going to be a lot of foot traffic out here, and just the day-to-day stuff that we normally wouldn't do, like mowing rough, or we've had to mow spots in for tents and walk paths and stuff that we normally don't do that we've had to do for this tournament. We're having to put in some temporary electric for tents that will never get used again, but we need it for May.
So you guys have hosted tournaments before, but this tournament is going to be on national TV, the Golf Network, and so that's just making it quadruple the efforts.
Yeah, this is so much different than anything we've ever done. The past tournaments we've done, the first one wasn't televised at all, just on the news. The last tournament we did it, there was an actual podcast in the last tournament, the last 4 holes, but you could hardly You didn't even notice those guys were here.
So more tents. You got a crane coming in
We
here?
got a TV crane coming in, 110 foot tall. We've got a camera on every hole. We've got a mobile studio where they'll have a shot across the bridge on 18 and up through 18 fairway to the clubhouse.
And I suspect that the golf course wasn't designed with spaces for all of this stuff.
No, not at all. We've had to create several spots to put some of these things in. Getting the crane to its location is going to be a challenge. We're going to have to sneak it down the cart path at 17 and try to get him. I think the difficult part's going to get him turned around and get him back out once the thing's over.
So not only putting this large crane on the golf course, but also the galleries are going to kind of view this tournament from a different perspective. Can you explain that?
Unlike most golf tournaments where the gallery is usually stuck in the rough or in between holes, we're going to let the gallery follow the players right down the middle of the fairway. The main reason is we really don't have any gallery space out here.
It's wooded all around us, yeah.
Standing on the cart path, you're not going to be able to see anything. And we really are trying to keep people out of our rough and not trample our rough down. So we're going to walk the spectators right down behind the players, and they'll have a great view of how college golf is played, and they'll see some great golf.
So what does that mean for the compaction? And I mean, what's the recovery time after a thing like this?
Well, I guess we'll find out after it's over. But I don't anticipate a lot, but there is going to be some areas we're going to have to renovate after we're done.
Yeah, and so will you get a day of no play out here to help kind of facilitate that?
No, we're not. We're open the next morning on the 31st, and we've got to get things flipped around and get ready for member play that next day.
Well, Travis, as an OSU Turfgrass alum, I know it's in good hands with you at the helm. Thank you for having us out.
Thank you for having me on.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.